for someone that's watching or listening to this right now, how can we arm ourselves as members of the public when data gets thrown at us? Because it gets thrown every day. To a certain extent, it's weaponized and probably has been for a long time, and it's going to be in the future. Is there any way that we can, take the data, look at it, and try to make sense if it really applies to us? Any kind of tools or tips for that?
So there's a couple of things. Obviously, I could plug myself. I do a lot of stats on Twitter every day, trying to just impartially. I don't have any political view with regards to if things are right or wrong. I just put the figures out to identify where things are high, where things are low. And there's other people doing that as well with regards to identifying the numbers. I think for me, the critical things for people to focus is on how many tests are being done and are coming back positive. We know that if they're going up, it inevitably will lead to more people ended up in hospital, and that inevitably would lead to more deaths, which could be the excess deaths. And I would probably keep bringing people back to looking at those excess death figures, because if you look at, say, London and South East at the moment, deaths aren't above the normal for the time of year. Now, the national restrictions that are being brought into place probably will safeguard that as we go through the coming months as well, with regards to the data there. Those are probably the critical numbers. And I know people do criticize the official number, saying, well, how many people are testing positive within 28 days of dying? And that is put up there with very little context every day by a lot of the media in terms of the number's gone up again. But remember, we are going into the winter where the numbers of people who go into hospital and die generally goes up at this time of year as well. So we would expect graphs to be going up. So it's important to look at how much are we over and above the average. That is a good indicator as to the virus. But you've got to remember, just looking at that, though, means that the issue when you start seeing excess deaths is because of cases that were caught 5 or 6 weeks ago. So it's maybe too late when you get there. So keeping an eye on the positivity rate. If we start seeing a spike in an area, that's when you start having some concern.
Okay. Fantastic stuff, Jamie. I appreciate that. Any final thoughts?
Well, I just think one of the good things about the pandemic, we have a lot of data thrown at us, but it's probably brought data to the fore to the public. So we've probably got more kind of budding statisticians and mathematicians out there. I've seen some really great people, 16-year-old A-level students building kind of dashboards and data dashboards for the public, etc. So I think the next generation of data gurus in the country is looking pretty healthy for us in the country at the moment.